The MacIver Institute recently sat down with House Speaker Paul Ryan to discuss President Obama's latest budget proposal and the year ahead. The speaker laid out the problems, as he sees them, with the president's budget.
More taxes, more spending, never, ever, ever, ever balancing the budget. He has decided throughout his entire presidency that he will not support balancing the budget, let alone paying down the debt. We've passed now 5 years in a row a plan to actually balance the budget and pay off the debt. The problem is you got to have a president sign that into law. We don't have one that will do that.
In order to differentiate themselves from the president, Speaker Ryan is having his members in the House develop a legislative agenda over the next several weeks.
This spring we're going to be rolling out all of our agenda items over a course of time. Number one, how do you grow the economy? Tax reform, open up energy, regulatory reform. Number two, the budget. What do we replace Obamacare with? How do we reform these entitlement programs that are going bankrupt? Number three, how do we get people out of poverty? How do we go at the root cause of poverty and restore the idea of upward mobility in America and move people truly from welfare to work? Number four, we don't have a foreign policy. We not only do we not have a foreign policy, we are degrading our military. So we need to have a 21st century military that is capable of putting America in the leadership position that it ought to be in. And number five, and probably most importantly, how do we make sure that the government works for us and not the other way around? How do we reclaim the separation of powers and restore the Constitution and its primacy?
Speaker Ryan explained why it is so important to present a clear conservative agenda to the American people.
Take our principles, apply them to the problems, show people solutions on the big issues of the day, and put it out there for the country. We're going to ask the country for a mandate to give us a president that we can work with so that we can get these changes into law in 2017 and save the American idea. We believe it's very important to draw contrast with the left because the stakes could not be higher. With Antonin Scalia passing away, with the Supreme Court up for balance, the whole thing is up. The Congress, the presidency, the Supreme Court, the Constitution, government by consent, limited government, free enterprise, all of these things are up for grabs. And so I think people need to know that we understand the severity of the moment, the consequences of the moment, and that is why we want to have a unifying agenda, an inclusive agenda, an agenda that's appealing.
Asked what he thinks the chances are that voters will deliver a mandate for Republicans this fall.
I think we're going to die trying.
For the MacIver Institute, I'm Jen Healy.